In this video, we are going to look at how to import the Berkshire Hathaway portfolio using the transaction import wizard so that we can compare its performance to our own portfolio. The first thing we need to do is create a new account called Berkshire Hathaway and set its currency to US dollars. This will allow you to keep the Berkshire Hathaway trade transactions separate from the rest of your portfolio. So click on Accounts, select New, enter Berkshire Hathaway as the name, select the currency US dollars, then click Save. Next, you need to create a new trade group called Berkshire Hathaway and set its currency to US dollars. This will allow you to compare the Berkshire Hathaway trade group's performance to other trade groups. If your trades are not assigned to any trade groups, you will not be able to do the comparison. So click on Trade Groups, select New, enter Berkshire Hathaway as the name, and select US dollars as the currency. Then click Save. You will also need to make sure you have the markets NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, and the Taiwanese Stock Exchange entered into the program. You can do this by going to Data, selecting Markets, and checking that you have the 3 exchanges in the program. Next, you need to open your browser and navigate to the Wikipedia page that has a list of all the assets held by Berkshire Hathaway. You will need to scroll down the page for the data we need. It comes under Notable Minor Holdings. You need to select them all, press Ctrl Copy, then open Excel and press Ctrl Paste. Next, you will need to click Save and save it as a CSV file. We will call it Berkshire. Then click Save. We are nearly ready to begin importing our trades. Before we do that, let's first discuss what data is needed to import these trades. Firstly, we need the ticker symbol, also known as the short code, that is used to identify a stock on an exchange. If you look at the data, you will find the ticker symbol appears in the ticker column right after the semicolon. We also need the market name that each trade is for, since the Berkshire Hathaway portfolio contains trades for multiple exchanges. If we look at our data, we will see that the market name appears in the ticker column along with the ticker symbol. For example, if we look here, the market name is NASDAQ and the ticker symbol is AAL, both separated by a semicolon. Next, we also need the date when the stock was purchased, which can be found in the Record Date column. Lastly, we need the quantity of shares that were purchased and the price they were purchased at. Looking at our data, the quantity can be found in the Number of Shares column, but the price that the shares were purchased at are nowhere to be found. But that's not a problem, since we have the total value of the shares, which we can use to calculate the purchase price. As you can see, by looking at the data, it needs some processing to be able to import it. You can certainly do it via Excel, but what if you needed to import data in the same format regularly? So in the next step, I will show you how to do it in Stock Portfolio Organizer by creating a CSV data template. Usually, if your data is relatively simple, you can skip this step and go straight to importing the data via the transaction import wizard. The easiest way to create the CSV data template is to create a starter template via the transaction import wizard. To do that, go to the Data tab, then open the Transaction Import Wizard, Next, select the CSV file with our Berkshire Hathaway trades that we created earlier. Then click Run. Once the data is loaded, go to the Data column to Field Type Assignments tab and assign the columns to their corresponding field types as best as can be done. So in this case, we know the record date is the transaction date and time. We know the number of shares is the quantity. We know the value is approximately the price, but we'll calculate the price from the value. We know the ticker is the market name plus symbol, so in this case we'll select symbol. Then click Create CSV Data Template. We'll call it Berkshire. Then click OK. Once that is done, close the Transaction Import window and open the CSV Data Templates window and select Berkshire and click Edit. Now, we won't go through how to create the whole CSV data template in this video, but I will show you how to split the ticker column into its market name and symbol constituents. So we'll click Symbol, we'll click Edit. So in this case we have the column name is ticker. We're saying that it's the field type is symbol, and for pre-processing type we'll click Generate New Column, and we'll enter the code that will extract the symbol from the market name and symbol put together. So enter value, which is the value of the column. So for example, in the previously you saw I selected a field and it had NASDAQ AAL. So that's the value. Then we click split, which is a JavaScript function. We'll split on the semicolon. Colon. And we want the second value, which will be the symbol. So we can make sure that this works by selecting it, then clicking Test Code. I'll enter the value. And then click OK, and we know it works. So that's the symbol. Now we just need to create the same type of code, but to extract the market name. So we'll click Save. Oops. We'll call this symbol. I'll click Save. Then we'll click New. Column name is the same column, ticker. This time it will be the market name. Generate new column. The new column name will be called market. We'll enter the same code. Except this time we want the first value. We'll click Test Code to make sure it works. Then I'll click Save. And that's really what you do for each of the columns. So we can go back and test it. Select our Berkshire Hathaway trades. Select the CSV template as the one we just created. Click Run, and you should be able to see two new columns, one with the symbol and one with the market. Now that we have seen how to create a CSV data template, we can begin importing our Berkshire Hathaway trades. So open the Transaction Import wizard, select the CSV data template that was made earlier, select our Berkshire Hathaway trades CSV file, then click Run. If you look at the data preview, you can see that the commas in the number of shares column have been removed, and we have our market and symbol columns, and our price, which was calculated from the value and number of shares. And we have a new column called transaction type, which basically tells the import wizard that each of these are by transactions. And if we go to the data column to field type assignments tab, we can see that each column that is relevant has a field type selected. So now we can click next. Page, we need to specify some defaults for when the data is missing. For example, our data does not have an instrument type column that tells the importer what kind of trade is being imported. In this case, all the Berkshire Hathaway trades are share trades, so we can leave the default value as it is. The same goes for position type. All the trades we are trying to import are long, so we can leave the default value as it is. Since our data has a market column, it doesn't matter what default markets are selected for the FX market and ordinary market values. For the date and time format, we can leave it on the default value, which is US. So click next to continue. On this page, we need to specify what account should be used to fund the trades and what trade groups our trades should belong to. In this case, we need to select Berkshire Hathaway for the account and Berkshire Hathaway as a trade group. For the brokerage formula, we need to select Berkshire Hathaway as well. For the closed trade assignment strategy, we can ignore this field since we have no closed trades in our data. And click next to continue. On this page, we need to select what each market name maps to in terms of market object in our database. Usually, if the market name and the market object have the same name, the program can automatically select the correct market. So in this case, for the New York Stock Exchange and Taiwanese Stock Exchange, it wasn't able to, so we need to do that ourselves. So I'll select Taiwanese Stock Exchange here, and then click next to continue. On this page, we need to do the same thing as we did on the previous page, only now for the ticker symbols. As you can see, most of the ticker symbols have been automatically matched to objects in the database. In your case, that may not be so, in which case you should select Create Missing Tickers and click Next to continue. On this page, you have an option of reviewing the trades before they are finalized. So in this case, you can click on the individual trades and you have an option of changing the account, trade group or brokerage formulas, or their values. So in this case, we don't need to do anything, so click Next to continue. On this page, we can view, edit, or change the closed trade assignments. In this case, we have no closed trades to import, so we can just click Next to continue. On this page, we can view the currency conversion for the individual trades. Since our ticker and account are of the same currency, there is no need for any currency conversion. So just click Finish to begin importing the trades. Once the trades have been imported, we can make sure that they have been imported by going to Trade Group, selecting Berkshire Hathaway, and clicking Currently Open Trades. As you can see, all the Berkshire Hathaway trades have been imported. Now to compare the Berkshire Hathaway portfolio performance to our own, click Summary. Then we can go to the Berkshire Hathaway Trade Group and expand the trade summary, then expand Profit Loss, and then go to one of our portfolio trade groups and do the same thing. As you can see, for the same period, the Berkshire Hathaway trades made 4.71% versus our portfolio 3.25%.